Hey guys, Tim Charlo here with Conversations in Bayou Creative, and today we're sitting down with somebody very near and dear to my heart. My first cousin and brother, Harold Batiste, who's the founder of Bespoke Batiste here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Harold, thank you so much for sitting down with me today,
You're
man.
welcome,
So,
man.
for the people at home who don't know who are you and what do you do?
All right. I'm Harold Batiste, designer, owner, founder of Bespoke Batiste Collection. I'm a tailor clothier here in the Lafayette, Louisiana, Acadiana area. We service Lafayette surrounding areas and other states in the country. We've sent suits and tuxedos out. So no, man, just here being creative and doing what God blessed me and made me to do.
Absolutely. And don't forget husband and father.
Well,
Which,
that's first and foremost, right? I tell people all the time, man, that this is what I do. This is what God has blessed me to do, and He allows me to share my gift with the world, and it's really a testament to what He can do through anybody's life, what He's doing through my life, and just allowing me to dream in fabric. But that's just
Dream in
that's
fabric.
what, yeah. And so that's what I do. But I tell people all the time, Andy, at the drop of a dime, that husband and father. That's my main job.
Absolutely.
That is my main job. My world revolves around them. I'm a servant to them.
Absolutely.
My main obligation.
You're a servant to your clients.
Absolutely.
You're a servant leader.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
That's what we do.
My lovely wife, Latoya, and I have been married for going on 17 years. Two kids, one 15, one 10. My boy is 15. My daughter, Aria, is
How
is
old
10.
is Bespoke Batiste now?
Bespoke Batiste, man, that's a tricky question because I always feel like it's older than what it is on paper, right? Because I've dreamed and kind of planned this thing out in my mind and even sketching on paper for so many years, but officially it'll be 5 years in May.
5 years as a legal entity.
5 years.
But we were kids, and we'll tell the people at home we're first
Yeah.
cousins. We're
Yeah,
close-
yeah.
We're brothers.
More like brothers than
Yeah,
anything.
but legally
More
first
like
cousins.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've
yeah.
been sketching. You've sketched tattoos for most of the family members. And
Yeah, I've always been pretty fond of a pen and pad, just sketching and drawing, as you know, was always been a passion of mine. Again, God blessed me with that, man. And, I was just able to do it naturally. And obviously growing up in fashion, our family they're pretty fashion forward, if you will. And I don't know, fashion and art collided for me sometime when I was just a boy. And it took a while to come out. I guess the Lord was cultivating it.
One of Yves Saint Laurent's monikers was "Fashions fade, style is eternal,"
Absolutely.
and that's one of the things I've always latched on to. I was so jealous as a kid of your artistic capabilities. As you know, I can't draw stick figures, right? So
Man.
when we were kids, we would paint together, and you always paint these beautiful
All
things.
this
I could just
stuff.
put ink on a page. Like
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that time. That time
Come
I
on,
was
jog my
taking
memory.
that paint in your bedroom, and the red paint,
Did it
that
go
top
everywhere?
flew off and it went everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the most artistic thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Happy little accidents, man.
It is. So where did the name Bespoke Batiste originate? And did you go through other iterations before landing on that name?
Yeah, I did. Well, yes and no, because as you know, my wife and I was involved in the life insurance industry. I'm gonna try not to draw this question out, but it's a story
It's a big
behind it,
question.
man. And so I've always been pretty decent with my composition. I always present myself well in fashion, and even prior to starting this brand. And we're having a meeting at the office where we did life insurance, and walked into the office to talk to one of the partners, and this guy, his name is Jeremy Desatel.
Okay.
And we go into the office, and he goes, "Hey man, when are you gonna start your own clothing line?" I'm like, "Man, what are you like?" I'm like, "This guy barely knows me."
Yeah.
I'm like, and I was just it shocked me, but I kind of didn't show it. And I was like, I thought about it, man, but Jay, I called him Jay. I'm like, "Jay, I really don't know what I would call it." He's like, "Well, think about it for a minute, man. I'm gonna think of some stuff and I'll let you know." Maybe 5 minutes later, he was like, "Hey, I got it." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I got the name for your brand." He said, "How about Bespoke Batiste?" And I was like,
my.
"Man, let me think about it. I don't know." And really and truly, I didn't know what it meant, bro. Like, bespoke. I'm like, all right, let me go and do my homework and see what this really means. Like, I don't like to do anything that don't have a meaning or something that just sound cool. I want it to really have a meaning. And so I went and looked up what it meant and found out it was obviously, pertaining to custom clothing and one-off type stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, Batiste. I'm like, I knew I'd want my last name to be on whatever brand I own because I feel like that's what I'm rooted in. It's where I'm from. That the place I come from is what I'm composed of.
Yep,
If that
absolutely.
makes sense. And so I'm like, well, let me just look up the meaning of Batiste, and it's linen or silk cloth. It's a fine fabric. And I'm like, wow, I think that's perfect. But let me go over some other names first. And I sat on it for a while, and I'm like, one night we was at the house, me and my wife was just talking. I'm like, that's it. So Latoya, that's it. She's like, what's it? I'm like, Bespoke Batiste. She's like, okay. And that's where it started. I kind of ran with it. So credit to Jeremy.
Hey, hey, plug to Jeremy. I like
Cool
it.
cat,
I
man.
hope he's
Cool
doing
cat.
well. I hope
He
he's doing
is,
well.
man. He is.
I don't imagine we're paying him royalties, are we?
No, man. So he was one of those guys, man, that you meet people that you don't really know, but you kind of take liking to them. They take liking to you,
Absolutely.
and relationships
They
pretty
become a
pretty
main character in your
organic,
chapter,
you know. And he was a really giving person. He was always lending advice and stuff like that, man. And so he openly gave me advice, man, and motivation at the time. So, but not a good guy.
You mentioned the insurance world that you were in.
Yeah.
Were you designing clothes for people while you were in that world, or when did you first design your first piece of habiliment, as it's called?
So no, I wasn't designing for people in that industry, although I wanted to because I understood how they dressed, and I kind of and I'm gonna give you a disclaimer. In a non-judgmental way, I pick fashion apart. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I do the same thing.
I
I know what you
look
mean.
at and study fashion. I'm like, okay, I would wear it. I would have done that way. I would have worn that way. And I would have cut it this way if I was styling this person. And I always wanted to. But truth is, I was still kind of in this bubble or in this introverted shell of mine. And I was reserved to, I guess, offer my gift to anybody. But at the same time, I'd still get home and go into my home office and start sketching and writing down concepts and stuff like that. So being around people that dressed a lot motivated me and inspired me, but I'd write it down or I would draw it.
Unofficial research and development.
Yeah, for the
not
most
realizing
part.
what it was.
And so, but my first design was done over probably maybe about 20 years ago. I designed
didn't even know that.
Right? Yeah. So the suit I got married in is the very first thing I designed.
And you had it made?
Yeah, I had it made. There was an African tailor here in Lafayette. He worked at Men's Warehouse, and his name was Ba.
I remember.
And so it was crazy because I had this sketch in my portfolio, and I'm having this conversation with him. And I'm like, I'll bring you the sketch, and we'll see if you can make it. He was like, sure, bring the sketch by. And he was just this kind of calm confidence. I'm like, he's not excited, but he's super calm. I don't know how to perceive this guy. Can he do it or can he not? But it was just his really calm confidence. So I brought it to him. Long story short, he made it. I did like
It was dope.
I did like 5 or 6 fittings, and I'm looking at the garment before it was done, and I'm losing my mind. I'm like, man, I trusted this guy with my design. Is it gonna happen? And it did. Yeah. And so that's the first thing I designed that actually came to life. And so everything after that just was on a sketch pad and never saw the light of day until I started this.
That's crazy.
And then there was one time, I'm sorry, I take it back.
Oh, no, yeah.
I was visiting a store. This was, oh Lord, fast forward many, many years, probably 6, 7 years ago. And I'm in this store here in Lafayette that this guy was giving me the custom shirts. And this is another guy that spoke into my life. He said, Harold, you got a really unique style. You should be in fashion. I know you're in life insurance, but you should really be in fashion. I'm gonna franchise this and I'll have you run one of my stores. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I appreciate that. That means a lot to myself. And I just told him, like, we'll see. But I didn't really share with him. I've always aspired to do it. I was just like, it was kind of weird. I'm like, is this a sign, And so I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I do this fashion thing, I'm not gonna go work for anybody else. It's gonna be for me. And so he's like, look, man, I do custom shirts, man. You have anything you'd want to have made? And so I had this linen idea of a linen shirt. It was like I don't know, this very nice aquatic blue with, I believe, maybe like a lavender or lilac cuff. I designed it to wear like on the beach. And I'm like, I'll see if he can do this shirt, And so I took it to him, had the sketch with color and everything. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Can you do it? And the guy had the shirt done, and I wear it at the beach when we go to the beach.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. And so that would be the
20 years
second.
later.
Yeah, that would be like the second thing that I actually had made. But in between that is so many things on the sketch pad
Yeah.
that
Never saw the light of day.
no, still that nobody's ever seen, and only because I would I would sketch stuff on the piece of paper, and when I'm watching TV and I'm out in society, I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, I just designed that. I remember vividly a pair of boots that is kind of like almost lug style high boots that I designed, and they were kind of, I guess, gonna become what would be the style at the time, but I'd never seen it before. So I drew it only to find out that there was some designers in New York that were already ahead of that curve and they had done it, but that happened a few times with stuff
I imagine in fashion and in stylism, there's only so many variations of cuts. There's so many variations of lines that you can put in certain things without being super ostentatious, right?
Right.
That really is kind of like canon in D. Like every single musical composure that we've ever heard was completed in like 1945, 1947.
Sure.
And you can't, it's difficult to look at a shoe or a pair of pants or a jacket and know, oh, that came from Xenia. Oh, that came from so-and-so, that came from ...
Sure.
And I imagine that seeing that take place when you see other designs, like, man, I drew that 15 years ago and here it is, you know?
Right.
Does that motivate you to keep drawing? And does it stab you a little bit? Or does it make you wish you would have gone to table sooner?
All of the above. All of the above. I'll tell you the first emotion that would hit me, honestly, man, if I could be transparent, is like a punch to the chest, like that just kind of knocks me down to an extent, like a blow, like, oh, that hurt, you know. I'm not on top of my game. I'm not doing what I need to do, and it just it kind of, not to say kills my confidence, but it'll kind of play on my confidence just a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it'll make me realize, like, hey, you got the stuff. You're tracking.
Yep.
You know, your mindset is tracking properly, and then it motivates me to get behind the sketch pad and be like, all right, they did it. What's next? You know what I'm saying? So it does all of the above. I just go through, I guess, a chain of emotion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stages of grief.
Now, as I've gotten older and more, I guess, emotionally mature, and look, we all works in progress, I'll be the first to tell you I am. I've probably become better with that initial blow of kind of knocking myself down or being hard on myself about not being on top of things or whatever. That only lasts for maybe a second, if at all.
Yeah. We learn to trust God's timing.
Yeah, and so, because I mean, hey, I'll be 43 this year, man. I've been in business for 5 years. You know, it took this, you know. So, but nah, I guess I'll say, you know, all of the above, man. But it's cool. It's cool to see happen from time to time.
Hey,
I've
well,
embraced it.
I got a lot more content, man. Can I have you for a part 2?
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate
That'd be
it,
great.
man. Thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
Guys, thank you guys so much for sitting down with us for part 1 of Conversations with Harold Batiste of Bespoke Batiste. To stay up to date with what we have going on here, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to smash that like button, crush that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you can stay tuned. Cheers.